thy peace, God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come it on. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they didn't sell out Rasta and sell it out, I sell out Babylon. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, come on the flag. If I throw a stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black thing? Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad. Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on in this process. For children of Israel do really love rights. Justify and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I she never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, night. We cannot touch down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down, war cry. Fight down. He said Rastafari. War and cry. And do that righteousness. And we love God. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Put time away, put time away. Listen, yeah. Just as lion, I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna pass down Babylon gates. Prepare we the way. Prepare we the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down, war and fight. Fight down, war and fight. Rastafari, war and fight. And build up righteousness. When we love Jah, and we love Jah. And we love Jah Rastafari. We love God. And we love Jah. We love Jah Rastafari. We love Jah Rastafari. We love God. We love Jah Rastafari.
Good morning, globalists. Good morning and welcome. How are you all doing? Thanks for joining us this morning. This morning, we are going to deal with a multifaceted of topics. In our first segment, we will focus on Africa. If you are in tune to geopolitics, you would see that there's a brewing war in Africa at the moment. The state of Nigeria has now become a threat to the life of our dear president of Burkina Faso, Abraham Traore. We'll dive more into that in a bit. We will also look at the housing scam carried out by the government, HAJ and NHT. As well as we will go back to Darrell Vaz, the 150 million US dollars and their old private-public partnership, JPS. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Like and share the live, please. We have a few topics to discuss this morning, so support the program. Debbie Jarvis TV, good morning, and welcome. Good morning, Michael Nepper. Lynette Jenkins, good morning. Colleen, Elga Fletcher. Paula Johnson, Sophia Hall, Laverne, Barbara Simpson, Elga Fletcher, Errol Reed, Rennie Nicholson, Errol Evan Miller, Andrea June Hamilton Wilson, Lenward Steele Lee, Arlene Scott. Good morning. Bob Beverly Watson, good morning. And to everybody who comes on the live often, to my community of parity, all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, and those of you who rewatch the recording. Good morning. Welcome to Global TV. Marcia Gale, my mother, good morning. Now, I don't know how much of you are aware of the coup or the attempted coup that took place in Burkina Faso, in Benin a few days ago, but it was stopped because the French sought military intervention from the Nigerians, which Tinubu moved swiftly into action. And let me start by saying Jamaica described itself as the superpower for the Caribbean. Nigeria described itself as the giant of Africa. Despicable headmanship, though, of both countries. Because currently, Jamaica is ruled from a family house, and Nigeria is ruled from the grave, you see. You will remember when Niger had their anti-colonial, when Niger sought to, because you have to change the English of how these people speak. When Niger sought to decolonize their country, you remember Nigeria was one of the first who jumped in and want to send its military over the border to tackle the military men of Niger who wanted to decolonize them land. The same Nigeria come back again. But Nigeria is taking it a bit further this time. We're going to let you watch a few clips of video. Then we're going to address the people of Nigeria, because over here on Global TV, we're not able to speak to the dead, so we won't be able to speak to Tinubu ourselves. We will speak to the people of Nigeria. We will speak to the president of Ghana. We will also speak to President Putin. But we're going to take you through a few clips so you understand the latest development. And let me roll back a bit. During the Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso crisis, the ECOWAS is the Western Economic Zone of Africa, which most of the West African country was a part of. When the coups happen, ECOWAS take a decision to, I think, disperse them or somewhere or the other. But what ECOWAS did was impose a no-fly zone on what is called the Alliance of Sahel Nations. They call them the Sahel country, or the AES, AES, something like that, which is mainly now Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the Alliance of the Sahel States. ECOWAS, led by Nigeria, imposed a no-fly zone on the Sahel states. Rigorously imposed by the state of Nigeria, even when other Western African countries don't want to or don't enforce it so rigorously. Nigeria does. Now, after Emmanuel Macron, you know that little girl in France? After Emmanuel Macron requests Nigeria help to avert the freedom of the Benin people, Nigeria emboldeningly went into Burkina Faso's airspace. Burkina Faso ground them plane and detained 11 military personnel. Burkina Faso also tell them, we are on the highest alert, and anything coming to our airspace, we're going to shoot it down without warning. Now, there's a war of words between Burkina Faso and, it has escalated to more than a war of words between Nigeria and Burkina Faso. But we're going to let you listen to a few clips, and then we said certain things we have to say that they want to chop off with head or not. It don't really matter. We still are going to say it.
Nigerians, wherever you are,
bear with. Bear with.
Nigerians, wherever you are all over the world, and the people of Africa at large, let me say this. This Tinubu newly found romance with France and Emmanuel Macron. Let's hope it doesn't lead us as a country, I mean Nigeria, into a place we would not have wanted to be. Because I don't know where this relationship comes from. French, we are not of the French colony. And I don't know how Tinubu and Emmanuel Macron became best of friends. Yes, they are both president, but not president of the same scale. You get the point. Francophone countries that are of French colony, they are all running away from France. Majority of them is gone. You get the point now. There are reasons why they are running away. When a child is running away from their father, he simply tells you so many bad things about the father. And it is now Tinubu is imprisoning France. I don't know whatever relationship Tinubu have with France, but whatever it may be, sir, please do it on a personal term. Take Nigeria out of it. Because this embarrassment gets too much by the day. You understand? What on earth was the Nigerian military aircraft and whatever it is looking for at the alliance of the Sahel state? What were they doing there? Now, just imagine the embarrassment now. You see in the news now. It says Burkina Faso seized Nigerian military aircraft. Did you see it? And have detained, okay, let me just read it exactly as it is. It said Burkina Faso detained 11 Nigerian military officers, seized Air Force C-130 after unauthorized airspace entry. What on earth is Nigerian military and their aircraft doing in the airspace of the Sahel? The alliance of Sahel states, Nigeria, with their alliance, with their romance with France, has described, or should I say, declared themselves as an enemy to those breaking away from France. Yes, that's exactly what it is. The other day, Benin attempted a coup. Perhaps they have their reason. Nigeria went to interfere. Now you have been caught in Burkina Faso airspace unauthorized. Imagine Nigeria, 11 military men detained in another country. A country that was once referred to as the giant of Africa. How have we gotten here as a people? How have we gotten here? I've read from other sources trying to counter or condemn the act. Burkina Faso is looking for trouble. Hey, they have no right. Says who? They quoted the international law guiding the airspace. They have the right to their airspace, and Nigeria have become a threat to these Sahel states. You get the point now. So there is no way you will see an aircraft of your enemy in your territory and you will not take action. Now let Nigeria go and prove what they were doing there. What were you doing there? A country that cannot fight Boko Haram in their own house. The other day it was Benin, now it's Burkina Faso. Boko Haram is ravaging Nigeria, claiming territory as the day passes. You can't do anything about it. Rather, you're giving Nigeria constant embarrassment publicly. You don't go and think of how you will get your soldiers and your aircraft away from Burkina Faso. Shame, what a shame. The day Nigeria allowed APC to get into power, that's the day we embarrassed ourselves. And you see Ibrahim Traore, no matter how much you paint him, he is that head of state, he is that leader that Tinubu can never be. Tinubu's style of leadership is raising men, bringing up men, loyalists, making men become bigger than the institution, making individuals more powerful than the system. That is a stupid and nonsense kind of leadership. Burkina Faso has a real leader in Ibrahim Traore, trying to project Burkina Faso, not some powerful individual. Put Burkina Faso high on the map. You get the point now. Whenever you look at America president, most especially this current one, Donald Trump, you always hear America first, not Donald Trump first. But when it comes to Nigeria, it's all about Tinubu himself, his friends, and his family. And we think that's leadership. When people try to praise Tinubu, they don't know the meaning of leadership. Leadership is not when you elevate yourself or raise your friends and family. How high have you been able to take your nation, your immediate society? That should describe it. So please, my people, I don't know what you think about this embarrassing news. I think someone needs to talk to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The embarrassment is becoming too much by the day. They are embarrassing ourselves outside and they are acting drama with the kidnapped school children. Whether they release them, whether they pay ransom, or whether it was even staged, we don't know. Claiming they were, see, I don't want to go into detail on that because it can get me really, really mad. But meanwhile, on this one, Tinubu, please, one yo. Whatever you have with Emmanuel Macron, whatever agreement or price you are owing him, fix it on your own. Save our Nigerian name from the further embarrassment. Nigerian name has been shattered enough. Please, enough of doing more. Please.
We have a few more clips for you before we have our say on the whole bravado.
You see, this Tinubu romance with Emmanuel Macron and France, let Nigerians just hope it doesn't cost Nigeria that much. Because I'm not seeing any positive signs at the end of it. African countries, the Francophone countries, have their reasons for wanting to run away, or already running away from France and Emmanuel Macron. But it is now that Tinubu is switching allegiance to France. What connects Nigeria and France now, I don't know. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if you have a personal relationship, you have a personal shady deal with Macron, please do that in person as an individual, on a one-on-one note, not using Nigeria. For goodness sake, whether you were rigged though, no matter how you grab and snatch power, for now, the world sees you as Nigeria president. At least try to act as one. Don't put our country into further jeopardy. Just imagine the embarrassment. Just imagine. If you can see that in the news, can you? I know you will not see it. Or should I give you time to read it?
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace how we who call ourselves black people continue to sell ourselves out. That's guys, why only not see me come on my platform, come blame white people too tough. White people do them thing and gone about them business. White people do them thing and gone about them business, and we are the problem now.
Guys, urgent. Yesterday, the AES leaders sent us a communique letting us know that a Nigerian Air Force plane was flying across their airspace without authorization, and they had to force the plane to land. And when the plane landed, discovered that they had 9 soldiers in that plane, and they did not have any authorization to fly across their airspace. Now, the Nigerian Air Force has sent out a communique. The first in their communique, they claim that they followed all due protocol. The second thing they said in their communique is that the plane was headed to Portugal. Now, guys, pay a great attention to these pictures that you would see here. You would remember that Nigeria had to deploy their jets to carry out operations in Benin. This is Benin, right? This is Nigeria here. This is Benin Republic here in the middle. And when you look just a little bit above Benin Republic, that is the eastern part of Burkina Faso. But look at where their plane was forced to land, on the western part of Burkina Faso, border with Côte d'Ivoire. Now, a question I want us to ask is that the...
No, Côte d'Ivoire, formerly Ivory Coast, is also a country plotting with Nigeria to bring down Abraham Traoré, because Côte d'Ivoire and Cameroon is still, and Benin is still in the pocket of Emmanuel Macron. That, though, is not enough for Macron, because he wants gold and uranium, which he has been cut off from since these 3 countries kicked them out and formed an alliance, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So Nigeria has come on board overtly. What you call the other country? Côte d'Ivoire is doing is more on a covert scale, but Nigeria twice overtly intervened in another state on behalf of France and America. This is dangerous. Nigeria don't have a problem with these countries. Nigeria is intervening on behalf of France and America.
The route, or is that the route from Nigeria to Portugal, as they claim? How many times have they been traveling to Portugal using this route? That is the question that the Nigerian Air Force need to explain to us. We don't know why they are working so hard to cover what they have done wrong, and they're trying to look all possible means to cover it up. That is not going to work with us. It is not going to work. You don't have any right to fly past sovereign countries' territory without authorization. You are carrying out operations in Benin. If it had happened around the eastern part of Burkina Faso, we could say maybe they were carrying out operations and by chance they had to find themselves around the eastern part. But to come from Nigeria, you're carrying out operations here in Benin and you find yourself here, guys, something is fishy and we're not going to accept that. Now, we want Nigeria to know something. The government, I'm talking about Nigerian government. If you have decided to sell the country to France, that is fine. We don't have a problem. It is your country, right? You have the right to do whatever you want to do with your country. But do not dare cross the AES. Do not dare cross the AES. You see that AES? The entire African youths are looking up to that AES as a model. If you don't want to cause trouble with the entire African youth, do not cross that AES. By the way, they have made it very clear. The next time any foreign aircraft is flying past their airspace without any authorization, they're going to shoot it down. If you guys want to cause war with the AES, know that you want to provoke a war, not just with the AES, but with the entire African youth who are passionate to see Africa break loose from imperialism. If you guys want to maintain your countries under the yoke of imperialism, other countries want to break loose. The AES want to be free from imperialistic forces that have been imposed on Africa for decades, centuries, and some puppets apparently still don't want to see reasons just because of their greed, just because they have stolen from the countries and have embezzled in foreign banks, because they have invested all their companies, everything in those Western countries. And they know that if they play any fast one, their investments are at stake. They prefer to sell an entire country. That is what is going on. And we, the people of Africa, we are not going to fall for that. We are not going to accept. We stand with the AES any day, anytime, anywhere. La patrie ou la mort, nous vaincrons. L'AES ou la mort, nous vaincrons.
The entire world must stand with Abraham Chore. This is a plot to bring down Abraham Chore. This is a plot to bring back France in control of all those rich.
Nigeria, you have been warned.
Because what we don't realize, since France lose these three countries in Africa, France is falling. There's turmoil all over France. About 5 prime ministers resign in how much months. It's all falling apart. So they are invested with whatever little they have left and whatever little they can borrow to overthrow Captain Abraham Chore.
Nigeria, you have been warned. The AES has warned Nigeria to stay off its airspace. Yesterday, a Nigerian transport aircraft, an AC-130 aircraft, was grounded in Burkina Faso. What was the aircraft doing in Burkina Faso? What was it doing in the airspace of Burkina Faso? The AES has warned Nigeria that stay clear of its airspace. You don't
Thank you,
have
Camilla.
authorization to fly in its airspace. So stay clear. And they have warned that their aircraft detector systems are on high alert. This time, they're not going to warn you to calm down. They will neutralize you in the air. So stay off their airspace. They don't trust you, and they've got no relationship with you. They are not part of ECOWAS. So why was your aircraft in their airspace? If you were on a ferry mission to Portugal, the closest country to you, Nigeria, is Niger. Why didn't you fly over Niger? Even though Niger is also an AES country, why didn't you fly over Niger? What were you doing in Burkina Faso? What were you doing there? And there's another message from the AES. Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, your newfound friendship with the French president, may give you a lot of ideas. But the guys are warning you. They have told you to be very careful. You can do whatever you want to do with those countries within the ECOWAS region, but please do not extend your authority to the AES. They will not take kindly to it. I don't even know what Nigeria wants. I don't know what Nigeria is looking for. And I beg the question, and this is what many people are asking. Nigeria, you can send your military to Benin to restore order, but you cannot fight bandits in the north. You cannot fight kidnapping in Nigeria. You cannot fight armed robbery in Nigeria, but you are quick to fight other people in their countries to restore order. No wonder Donald Trump said the things he said about you guys. And you find a lot of ignorant Nigerians who have not traveled beyond their hometowns in different comment sections, just type in, Nigeria is the giant of Africa. We can take over the whole of Africa. Such ignorant pronouncements. No wonder. You haven't traveled beyond your hometown. You don't know what is happening elsewhere. And don't try the AES. Those guys have gone to hell and back. And those guys are patriots. They are fighting for their nation. They are not fighting for money. And they are not fighting to be giants of Africa. They've gone to hell and back. They've seen the worst of the worst. Those guys fight in the desert. They fight real terrorists. You understand? You can't even fight bandits. You can't fight armed robbers. You can't fight kidnappers. You want to go and fight guys in the AES. Don't even try it. Don't even try the giants of Africa. Keep tickling yourselves, but you've been warned. Don't enter the airspace of the AES. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Don't try it because there will be nobody left to tell the story.
Nigeria must be stopped. Nigeria must be stopped. If the people of Nigeria don't want to stop Tinubu, the Sahel Alliance, with whatever
the AES has made the giant of Africa to start,
they can get from their international partners such as France, Russia, you must, and North Korea, you must get the help to destroy Nigeria if the people of Nigeria do not remove Tinubu, because Tinubu has become a threat to the independence of Africa.
The AES has made the giant of Africa to start explaining themselves. So Nigeria has released an official explanation why their aircraft was found in the Sahel's airspace. According to the Nigerian Air Force, the aircraft was on a ferry flight to Portugal. Shortly after takeoff from Lagos, the crew detected a technical issue, and following standard aviation protocol, the pilot declared an emergency and diverted to the nearest safe airfield in Burkina Faso. Nigeria insists this was a precautionary landing, not a military mission, not espionage, not a deliberate overflight. They also say the crew is safe, that Burkina authorities treated them well. And once the aircraft receives technical clearance, Nigeria says the journey to Portugal will continue. But AES is telling a different story. The Sahel Alliance says the aircraft entered Burkina Faso airspace without prior authorization. For AES, that is a violation of sovereignty. So they detained the 11-member crew, impounded the aircraft, and placed their air and anti-air defenses on maximum alert. They also warned that any future violation may be neutralized. So at this point, we have two conflicting but verified narratives. Nigeria says emergency, safety protocol, precautionary landing. Then the AES, on the other hand, says unauthorized entry, airspace violation, and legal breach. This is no longer about taking sides, it's about evidence, documentation, and whose account holds after investigation. AES is currently reviewing Nigeria's claims of technical issues. When their findings are released, I'll update you all. Thank you all for watching this video.
The Nigerians are coming up with all sort of hobnob. Who should I address first this morning? Ghana. Ghana and Togo was also required to, as a part of ECOWAS, to send military support to Benin. However, they refused to do so. Congratulations to that, in particularly President John Mahama. You, sir, I see you as an honorable and decent Pan-Africanist. Therefore, President of Ghana, I am asking you to withdraw from ECOWAS and have an alliance with the Sahel states. ECOWAS is going nowhere. ECOWAS is a Western-backed, Western protected institution. It's an institution that the West have in Africa where they can call upon, as we have seen in Niger and Mali, to intervene and bomb another country from the sky in order to protect France and America's interests. You ought not to be a part of that, President Mahama, because you're a Pan-Africanist. And the behavior of Nigeria at the moment is a neocolonialist. And you cannot sit in that club. You ought not to, Mr. Mahama, sitting in that club, because that club and your political ideology don't tie together. So I'm appealing to Ghana to step away from ECOWAS and join an alliance with the Sahel states. To the people of Nigeria, unfortunately, you have gone to the cemetery. You, the people of Nigeria, in 21st century, went to the cemetery and chose your president. I mean, like we went to prison and chose ours, you know, the superpower of the Caribbean, the giant of Africa. We have some weird places to choose our leaders from, like from the prison, as in what, Jamaica, and from the cemetery, as in Nigeria. But you chose him, have you not? You have seen the behavior of Tinubu, haven't you? So it's upon you, the people of Nigeria, if you're not in agreement with your drug dealing president, because you all know Tinubu's record, that Tinubu didn't have any academic success in by them all, and Tinubu was an ex-drug dealer. No drug dealer and thief, all of them go together. Uno choose him. If Uno don't agree with him, you all must stand up and get rid of this thing. How Uno get there, Nigeria? I don't know. Because Nigeria and Jamaica like to push up themselves in a people face and come and choice uno can't make. Nigeria and Jamaica. Uno like the big and broad and spread out so nobody can get nowhere to pass. But uno so fool when it come to making decisions. Nigerians and Jamaica. Uno so fools. And walk and big up on yourself and push up on yourself in a people face like Africa must respect Nigeria and the Caribbean must respect Jamaica. And you two lot are the biggest set of corrupt crooks and dunce. I don't know what's wrong with both of us, like literally. But you chose a dead man. And the rant that this dead man is on is to bring down African freedom, African independence. Now, if you, the people of Nigeria, doesn't stop this thing, you will be written about Nigeria as the sellouts of Africa. You know, like now we have the discussion about the sellouts of our forefathers in Africa that sold us into slavery. The next set of conversation in the 31st century Nigeria will be how Nigeria stepped in on behalf of Britain, France, and America to stop the freedom of Africa, to stop the economic advancement of Africa, to stop the decolonization of Africa. So if you, the people of Nigeria, don't want to bear that name into eternity, it is your duty to stop this thing now. Because if you stand by and let Tinubu carried out a war on President Churi, you, the people of Nigeria, will not escape the criticism, the disaster, and any punishment to come from the ghastly behavior of the drug dealer that you all chose as your president. To Russia and North Korea in particular, even with nuclear weapon, make sure you arm Abraham Churi to the teeth so Nigeria never have one iota of success on the battlefield. Arm Abraham Churi well to eliminate Nigeria or to break up the Federation of Nigeria if needs be. Any country, any person, any group that becomes a traitor and a deterrent to the independence, the economic, social, and political independence of Black people must be eliminated. They are a threat, and you must not keep a threat around you. If they're not ready for freedom, get them out of the way and continue the journey. Nigeria must be stopped. Cote d'Ivoire must be stopped. Anyone wants to intervene in the independence of Africa must feel the wrath of the Sahel states. And Russia and North Korea, you must arm them well, because these men are experienced and they have the tenacity and the courage to fight. Arm them well so that Nigeria is obliterated if needs be. Then we turn to the seedless bulldog, the African Union, that will never produce nothing, that has not produced nothing. A bulldog walking around yapping without a seed. A bulldog that cannot mount a bitch. The African Union. Away with the thing. The Sahel states. To the Sahel states, you must withdraw yourself from the African Union. It's a Western-backed system, a system that will never stand up for the independence of Africa. When have you heard in any dispute within the African Union where the African Union, where you hear the African Union have anything to say? Have you ever heard anything from the African Union? Do you even know what they do? Do you even know who's the chair of the African? Is FARC still there? Is the fucker still there at the AU? We must throw these institutions to the curb that are talking shops. We need institutions that mobilize activity, as we see President Abraham Traore did when he took over and moved into a rapid development of the country. You see, no licky Nigerians and no licky Jamaicans. On licky Nigerians and on licky Jamaicans, you are toward the most lost black set of people you can think of. Nigerians and Jamaicans, we're so lost. We're so wrapped up into utopia because the giant of Nigeria, where them talk about no go so. Because the giant of Nigeria goes into crooked politicians and their friends and their family pockets. Look at Niger Delta. Look at South Nigeria. Look at the north of Nigeria. And Tinubu cannot get anything under control. But Tinubu wants to march around West Africa to tell the rest of West Africa who you should have alliance with and who should exploit your country, for that matter. So we're asking the Sahel to withdraw themselves from the African Union. The African Union is a seedless bulldog. It wouldn't mount a bitch even if a bitch was lying down. Like, seriously. But we're going to follow up on this Tinubu story. We want to go to the HAJ and the National Housing Trust at the moment. I did ask you all to go to Lot One Boy channel and watch a show he did on the, what you call it, NHT scheme in St. Elizabeth. Did any of you look at that video on Lot One Boy's channel of Brompton Manor housing scheme in Brompton, St. Elizabeth? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anybody? Did anyone look at that video? Because we cannot play a lot of these videos anymore because the vloggers are striking us. So we can only show you bits and pieces. Because this was the reason why I sent you over there to watch it, so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. You can see the images. You can see the images of the ripoff, the $13.5 million ripoff by the NHT. But let us remind you of Edmund Ridge Estate. This was done by Housing Agency of Jamaica. Remember, so we say Housing Agency of Jamaica and National Housing Trust is carrying out a scam on the Jamaica people. Moreover, they are in violation of Jamaica building regulation. I know since Gilbert, there was a building regulation law where you have to build building to certain standard. And them you always say from NHT and HAJ don't meet those requirements.
So when you look at this housing development of Edmund Ridge, and you see the quality of the housing that is developed here, this is nothing like Operation Pride. I want to make that point clear. So if you compare what this government has done relative to what the previous governments have done, then you can come to the conclusion that something good are going on in a Jamaica. Because if you compare these kinds of development to Operation Pride developments, then your conclusion would be that what was happening before was Operation Shame. And it is these developments that we are doing now that is really creating communities of pride, communities in which the homeowners feel that they have a really good investment, a really respectful investment, an investment in shelter that gives them dignity.
The zinc was flat.
Given what you see now, the Prime Minister sold us a puss in a bag. When the Prime Minister was doing that video when he went down to Edmund Ridge Estate, the Prime Minister was selling a puss in a bag.
And it's like you can see the breeze coming in every direction. North, south, east, west.
This is what is left of the wall.
One of the bicycle rim them,
Made out of paper.
and the cardboard, the corner,
What is left of
and
it.
the cartridge paper.
Three of us that live here. Myself, my wife, and our 8-year-old son. And this is the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. This house is in St. James East Central, the Edmund Ridge Estate. That was named after Edmund Bartlett, the tourism minister. And I understand that he and the Prime Minister came by to Palmyra, but they never come this side to look at the damage. We purchased this house from the HAJ Housing Agency of Jamaica, and they don't even come to our meeting with the residents yet. Some of us are still sleeping in our cars. Our homes are totally gutted by the wind, and they don't even have anything to come and to talk with us. They're just directing us to the insurance. I have been here since December. December would be 2 years.
How old is the complex?
The complex about 3 years, 3, 4 at the most, and it's a new complex.
You were looking at the material that was used to construct the house.
Paper jar wall. The material is far substantial. On paper. These are the walls with some dust in it. So it's all gone. It's all gone. But this is what is left of the wall. Remains of it. Made out of paper.
So if Mr. Housing Agency of Jamaica carry out scam on the people, based on what you've just seen in that video, that wouldn't be propaganda, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be propaganda based on what you saw and heard in that video. So if we say the Housing Agency of Jamaica is carrying out a scam, they're ripping off people, they're in violation of the building regulation. Debbie Jervis, thank you very much. They're in violation of the building regulations implemented post Hurricane Gilbert in 1988. They can't sue me for that, can they? They couldn't sue me. Let us now go to the National Housing Trust. You know, that one that the Prime Minister take 11 billions out of every year. You know, that one that even supermarket worker have to pay their mandatory contribution to. Yes, that one. Now, I trust that one boy not to strike me because other Jamaica vloggers strike me already. Me not say who, but me use that one boy content before and he has not strike me. He's seem like a very humble Christian man. So we're going to run the chance with that one boy content this one, because I want you to see what the National Housing Trust bill and sell for $13.5 million. They never even get it free, you know. They never even get it free. They sell it. On a watch.
Oh. Oh, viewers, look here. Man. This housing scheme was built back sometime in 2017, 2018. Somewhere about there. And this housing scheme is a NHT housing scheme. This housing scheme was built for middle class NHE contributors, you know. Yeah, and also these houses came on the market about price ranging like from 13.5 million. Yes, 13.5 million these houses start at. Yeah, it consists of timber frame roofing, cherry lawn, double bedroom occupancy, you know, your kitchen, bathroom, living area. You know, the regular amenities your normal house don't have. Yeah, but trust me, it couldn't stand up to the hurricane, Melissa. Trust me, this housing scheme is totally destroyed. Totally. Oh.
Bear in mind that these are houses constructed by the government or government agency only within the last 10 years.
And as you can see, these houses on a black bill in my house, yeah. These houses were cast, you know.
Hi, I'm Oluchi. I live in the UK with my family. Originally, I'm from Nigeria. Thank you.
Hi.
You know.
Yes, yes, Sharon, him put out one new video on Parity 18 minutes ago. I'm planning to deal with that video tonight. I'm aware of that video, thanks. But I plan to deal with that tonight because I want to get the housing trust scam out of the way first.
Cast them. One of these houses can take a day to cast up. 1 day. One of these houses can take a day to cast up. Believe me. Cha. This is a roof right here. Yo. To me, my personal preference is to build a house, not to buy a house. When I build my house, I know what I get. Okay, I'll code it over here, my viewers. Imagine you spend 13.5 million on code start the video. Whoa. My viewers, house them mash up. And these are NHG houses. These houses supposed to build to a certain standard. And look, trust me, how's them gone, my viewers. Man, window lick out, everything mash up. Cha.
And for the purpose of this video on the hurricane, we're focusing on the infrastructure of the walls, the structural walls, not the roof and so on, because anybody would lose roof in a category 5. But we're looking at the structure of the walls where government build the people for millions of dollars. So small.
Try no more. Let's see if we can get going. See if we can go to one of them. Try no more viewers. Yo.
If my money would never buy a scheme house, I mean, hate to see when everybody had the same shape house.
Yo. Host them mash up my viewers. Host them mash up. Trust me. If my roof scatter all about me, people. Roof scatter all about. Man. And the thing about it is that these people still have to be paying the loans and stuff. Yeah. Not because you're in a disaster if you say the loans and not going to pay. Man. Host them the walls, them cast and no black runner, that's cast, then cast. Prefabricated host them. Every roof inside the view has gone. Every one. As I said before, these are NHG houses. Every one. Cha. Oh, what do people feel? All right, this one here in particular, as you can see, a person purchased it and add on to it, and the part that was built by energy hit roof gone. Man, hey people, cha.
Look at the wall
Even the
now,
light
man.
post itself
With
buckled under the
NHD
pressure of the wind. Jeez. These are people future right here, you know. Look here. These are people. This is a person future right here. In city, in sheet them, bed, charger, the wall lit down. As you can see, my viewers, when I'm
on
telling
the
you,
wall.
like, no black none there.
Look at the wall. Government and NHT and the whole of them just a mix up like a mall. And tie 2 pieces of steel, box 2 pieces of board side of it, and throw in the little sinting and it dry. And then pretty up the outside and inside. And pour you don't know, say, even if you whisper in your house, anybody can hear you outside because a paper there between you and them. This is the scam that the NHT and HAJ is carrying out on the people of Jamaica. But what I would advise you to do, NHT contributors, if you don't have plan to take NHT house, start by your 10, 10, 20, 20, 100, 100 block put down, and your 1122 length of steel and board put down until you're ready to start your house. Then you take whatever money you're entitled to from the NHT and you build your property. Don't go buy no house from NHT or HAJ because a paper them a bill sell the people of Jamaica. A paper. These are recent homes which ought to follow building regulation. But when you look upon them, you realize no building regulation is being followed here. Them just bitch up something and give you, say, hey, hold that. Jamaica will have to stand up and wake up. Melissa exposed a lot of things, show we, and we still not pay attention. Melissa exposed a lot of things. See what the Prime Minister take NHT money gone do now, gone buy container house. And the container house, them go sit down, pack up in the car. The people them don't have land. So the Prime Minister go say, if you don't have land, we can't give you because you don't know where to put it. The Prime Minister said you can buy back from NHT. How much people would I want to buy a container house? And if them buy Prime Minister, how much people in the disaster zone at the moment would have money to buy container house or have the economic ability to get loan to buy it? You understand the bullshittery? I don't know if you understand, but I ask you if you understand it. We're going to move over to Darrell Vaz now and the JPS. We're going to make Minister Blundell. We're going to make Minister Blundell blunder. Then we're going to explain something too. No? Because they want us to shut up over this 150 million US dollar. Same amount what we get for the cat ban. Them want we to shut up over the 150 million US, same amount what we get for the cat ban. Even though the government don't have no money to alleviate the suffering of the people in the disaster zone, the government want bully us to shut up and accept the no reason they give us for taking up 150 million lend a private company, and then I can't tell we brouhaha. listen to the Bacchus Stopper minister, and then me I go tell him something.
Recommended and supported by the Ministry of Finance and approved by Cabinet to lend the JPS quiet the miscommunication access getting money and other point of sale materials. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to close on the issue of the JPS restoration. And I want to be very clear in relation to reiterating some of the information that I've already stated, just out of an abundance of caution and to quiet.
I don't know how people just say Daryl Vard's free by mangoes or two. I may not come from countryside anyway, so I may not know mangoes or I may not have to chase mangoes off or chicken them or egg them. I don't know how no say Daryl free by mangoes.
The miscommunication and the noise. Last Tuesday, I'd have made a statement outlining the decision of the government to lend the JPS $150 million in relation to restoration, early restoration. This came on the basis that their projections were taking us to April, May, and possibly June 2026, based on their current cash flow. Let me indicate again that the loan was a decision recommended and supported by the Ministry of Finance and approved by Cabinet.
Something we should understand.
The JPS, the $150 million, specifically to fast-track restoration, moving us from 82%, where we are now, to 90% by Christmas, New Year, and 100% by end of January. That would mean taking on 300 additional linesmen on top of the 170 that are here now. Without that money, the 170 linesmen would have been decommissioned this week, meaning that they would be decommissioned and have to leave because there would be no funding to pay them. So the $150 million goes towards keeping those 170 linesmen in Jamaica and adding another 300 linesmen. That comes with the equipment, the trucks, and all that you see currently on.
Because Abena, when you pay it off, them don't get to milk you with the taxes, with the interest rather. So them hope that you all default, so they can come take it away and sell it back. Or they hope you default, so you have to pay late payment interest and then something there. Banks and financial institutions don't like when you pay off loan too fast, especially when it comes to property, which them are hope to come seize one day.
The road now that 170 linesmen are doing. That decision was made to get us out of having to give any sort of extension on the existing license. This minister and this government made a commitment to the people of Jamaica that the license that expired in 2027 would not be renewed on the same terms, which we all know and agree that the license is 25 years old. It was flawed from day one, and it is even more flawed.
Yeah, but everybody knows that Daryl Vard's a criminal, rapist, murderer, thief, and
landscape does now. So in order for us not to grant the 15 years that was asked for by JPS, and
you prefer take the option to do money laundering, we understand, okay?
8 to 10 years that the multilaterals asked for to fund the JPS, we decided to be a responsible, caring government and lend the $150 million for 5 years. with simple terms. 5.5%, which is very concessionary because we don't want a pass-through for increased bills because of interest rates. So we were mindful of that. It allows us to continue on the track to negotiate a new license with JPS or with whoever. So we have separated Melissa from what we were on track to do pre-Melissa. And I can say to you that in 2 years, if the JPS is successful in negotiating a new license, they'll be able to raise capital and repay the $150 million. If they don't, the government has already indicated in June of this year, rather than giving them an automatic 10-year additional extension for non-response by the government, we indicated to them that we were not prepared to renew the license on the same terms, and therefore, if necessary, we would be prepared to acquire the assets of the JPS. So our $150 million is secured either way. I just don't get what all of this noise and confusion is about. Jamaica, the simple thing would be a decision.
Let me respond to that part. I don't know what the noise and confusion is all about. I'm going to respond to that. Too nice, please. No, this is between you and Favor. Leave Andrew out of it for the moment. You count by buckle stopper. You calculate overnight. Favor Tappan Road did a play skip and dandy shandy. So, given that the two on when achieve not in school, well listened to. Given how confused Ono is trying to explain the nonsense to us, it's only fair for us to be confused, Darrell Vaz. So you should understand. Examine you and Favor and see if you, Darrell Vaz, wouldn't come to the understanding why we confused of what you and Favor are trying to explain to it. We don't know wrap on our head round yet. We don't wrap on our head round it. But we don't blame we for not understand what we can't explain. Boy, I'm not wicked.
John, that will be taken on your behalf. Grant a 15-year extension and continue to suffer under the current license for 15 more years, or lend JPS $150 million. Take the argument of extension out and proceed to restore electricity in the short. I don't get it. Anyway, it's very clear. Last week, Tuesday in Parliament, after I spoke, the questions kept coming, and there was a definitive opposition by the opposition of releasing $150 million without knowing where the balance of money was coming from. So let me speak to that very clearly.
Just listen to this part very clearly, because this is the part I'm going to address when he finishes.
Original estimate was $480 to $600 million. It has been revised down to $350 to $400 million. The $150 billion that we are lending them was not picked out of a hat. They told us they needed $75 million a month for 2 months to bring us full restoration. So yesterday in Parliament again, the noise and the mischief about the fact that the $150 million is not enough, and where is the other 200 or 250 million coming from? That's not a discussion that we have had with the JPS. We have had a discussion about $150 million. The JPS.
Slight mongoose, your name gone abroad. Morning, Mr. Slight Mongoose. You didn't have the conversation with JPS. Play it back again. But where them will get the rest of the money from? Because
is owned majority privately, so the government has no obligation to fund a private entity. We did so in this case because of the benefits, and therefore we have nothing in front of us either to qualify at this.
all right. The government don't have a duty to fund a private company, which is true. The government, Darrell Vaz said, though, took the interest because of the benefits to the people. Darrell Vaz didn't want to know from them, where are you going to get the other 200 million from that you need to finish what you need to do? Because we're only lending you 150 million. I'm going to deal with the part where the JPS is a private company. It is a private company, Darrell Vaz, but it's also a public body. Let me explain to you. A private company, Darrell Vaz, can be considered as a public body for various reasons. And JPS, for two reasons, fits in this. JPS is a public-private partnership where the government have a 20% in and the private partners have their 80%. Coupled with that, Darrell Vaz, the function of JPS is of a public nature. Wouldn't you say that, Mr. Vaz? It provides, Mr. Vaz, a function to the state or on behalf of the state, Mr. Vaz. It also, Mr. Vaz, has a monopoly and that service it provides. So therefore, I wouldn't see why the government is saying, because they're a private body, because they're a private company, you cannot have the conversation with them as to where them are going to get for them rest of money from. That excuse, my people, makes no sense. Because as a public-private partnership, that's a conversation for the government and JPS to have. How are you going to come up with the rest of the money that is needed to do the thing? Because at least we would want to know. Again, the Public Appropriations and Accounts Committee can call JPS in front of them and ask these questions. So like Darrell Vaz that tells us say that's not our business to ask. No, you ought to want to know. They provide a function to the state, a function which we pay for, a function with we insurance money take up, lend them even when we're in a dire strait. So no murderer, rapist, thief, conman, scammer, gunman, murder your business partner, friend, murder your e-sport and politics. No, Anosorgo. The government ought to have that conversation with JPS because JPS provides a public function. PUBLELIMACEY function to the Jamaica government. The Jamaica government is in partnership with JPS. So all the government are going in a partnership with one somebody and expect the whole thing to function and operate when me do my thing over here so and the other person do for them thing out. Unless it's an idiot. But then again, school graduate you, school graduate favor, school graduate Andrew. You know, school have a lot to do with this fuckery we're going in our country. The education system, let me not say the education system, the academic training system has done a disservice to our country. The academic training system has done a disservice to our country. You see the blind loyalty to labor rights? Labor rights, and not even just labor rights. You see the blind loyalty to labor rights and PNP, and it's going to bring we down. It's going to make politicians like Andrew Holness take full control away. Because there's a blind level of loyalty from with people them to politicians, and everybody refuse to wake up and see. That's why I don't know like when we are foreign talking, because we are foreign not picky, and we not beg not now, we not depend on a politician and them friend and them circus. When we open we mouth, we don't want we fit talk, but we talk for saving a life. We talk for saving a life and the whole of our future. Because we see, oh, we become a risk to our own self because of our love for government. Not even government, love for our masters, because these are not governments and these are not leaders. They're just masters. You understand? And with the blind loyalty, we don't even understand the danger of blind loyalty. So this is what government use and seize more power. When government say everybody protect him and don't check him, government just seize more and more power. And so people end up in a dictatorship.
Citizens of Jamaica, I want to come out this time. I'm going to keep one vex and no one can beat me. What country I get sell off little by little, and some I want to feel like say I just everything on the need for defend. I'm not say you can't vote for who you want, vote for whoever you want, but as a citizen that's voting, you have a duty to criticize the government when they are messing up. The Jamaican Labour Party, I start move like MAGA up here, because blind loyalty to a politician is not patriotism. It's fucking dangerous. Since Hurricane Melissa, Mr. Holness himself admitted that flying around on the airplanes cost $1 million per day, and he flew around on said airplanes to assess the damages to the areas, right? But somehow, most of the communities that you flew over have still not yet received aid. Edmund Bartley, you have one constituency in a St. James that has not yet seen you. There's an autistic child over there right now that has been homeless since the hurricane. 400 generators were donated, and we were told that some of them were going to be lent out to shop owners within certain communities, so they could be a central area for the government to be able to check in on the progress and allow people to come charge their devices, whatever, get the place up and running. Couple weeks later, the story changed. Now the donated generators are only for government institutions, hospital, police stations, schools, churches, etc. All right, cool. You admitted in Parliament the other day that you don't know how much money has been donated, and you guys have not yet spent any of the money that's been donated. But now, all of a sudden, you want to use taxpayer money, which you said out of your own mouth, to buy generators to lend out. Meanwhile, there's money that's been donated that has not been spent. You guys are telling me that's not fucking chaos? Now let's talk about the G20 summit. Mr. Andrew Holness go on the world stage, go tell everybody how we're desperate and we needy and we're poor and we're broke. And then the same Prime Minister came on TV to tell us not to video when we're donating because we need to preserve our dignity. What dignity when you just tell the whole world so we're mash up and we need help? That doesn't seem like an attempt to preserve dignity. That seems like an attempt to control the narrative. And now the bigger picture. Chinese companies own all our roads. Most of the beachfront properties are bought up by American investors and they're still being sold. Mining sectors, foreign interests. Tech systems, foreign platforms. And now our elections too. What do we actually fucking own? This was signed back in 2022, but it's going into effect this year or next year for the next election because, voter registration and IDs and all that stuff are going to be gathered within the next couple of years for the next election. And Israel is in control of that. A foreign company now owns the system that is going to decide who is eligible to vote in Jamaica. What the Israeli government is doing to Palestine right now is absolute fucking destruction. And it's going to set the precedent for what they do elsewhere. We don't own our tech. We don't own our infrastructure. Our voting system has been bought out. What do we own? What is ours? There's no sovereignty anymore. Stop worshipping party and start defending Jamaica. You guys need to open your fucking eyes and ask questions. Blind loyalty, a fuckery.
All that way I get angry with, you know. But sometimes it don't even make no sense because Jamaicans seems very happy, comfortable, and content with what happened to them. Because if what happened to Jamaicans, it did irritate them. Like how it irritate we a foreign. When I get up and do something about it, when I at least go to road, go sit down and bawl. Or when I turn in your yard and say, you know what? We not engage with nothing, we not spend no money, we not go work, we not go school, we not go church, we not go nowhere. But there's no unity. There's no cooperation. Everything is me, I, no.
Bill Clinton is on my island. If you should know the history of Bill Clinton and Haiti and his wife, with Haiti, you would be asking the same question too. What is Bill Clinton doing on my island? Obama and Hillary Clinton, them get rid of Gaddafi. Don't forget that. It is all a trick. All a trick to keep black people complacent in a system that is not binding us with chains anymore. Them are dealing with the mental right now. Because they know that everybody love knowledge and everybody like to learn and know current affairs. As well as our past history. Isaac Buchanan know what going on. Damian Crawford know what going on. Them just can't tell the people as blatant and as blunt as they want to. They will put themselves.
Because they're afraid to get shot. Or they're afraid to be exposed and disgraced. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. All of these politicians, both sides of the fence, know what the hell is going on. But because we only have a two-party political system, whichever of the system gets into power have to carry out all master and the international community's bidding. So they have to keep silence. I'm telling you all the while, one of them vote for them, and one of them see them place their hand on their wicked Bible, and they take their wicked oath. That's what them done, we don't know. And that one we don't know. When a politician take the oath of office, it's no longer about you. It's about the investors. It's about the international partners. It's about the funders and the donors. It's not about you. That is what we're asking you to wake up from your slumber. Both of them go there turn rich. Both of them go there involved in a corruption. Both of them go there embezzle the public purse.
In a problem. Right now, I would have voted for Muta Baruch as Prime Minister. That I'm a mentor. Big up to Muta anywhere. I am 90s grimy, you know. I'm not a 2000s baby. I don't believe in dons of Jamaica, but they do play an intricate role. Now, for a politician, them have to go to the Dan to get the votes them. Because the Dan them care about the community. Other than all the killing and all of the drugs and all of them things, they care about the community. So in Siaga, them they have to go in a Tivoli and say, all right, bye-bye, watch an man, one day vote and so forth, you know. I said it go. Don't forget. Now that is called black nationalism, where we're in charge of our community's politics and the politician them. So we need back some Marcus Garvey. We need back some Patrice Lumumba. We need back some Kenyatta. We need back some Thomas Sankara. We need back some Haile Selassie. We need back some Muammar Gaddafi, Malcolm X, and Michael Manley. May we give him that? Hey, it's a revolution. I go swing over on the EDC youth.
Unite or perish, Jamaica. That is the most we can say to you. Unite or perish. The most we can do is continue bringing you the knowledge. Whatever you want to do with it, entirely up to you. We, though, will beg of you to use it positively. Use it to your benefit. Not like President Tinubu, who's using it to the benefit of France and America's hegemon. Unite Black people or perish. This is your last roll call. This is the final struggle for power in this global world before they all throw nuclear bombs at us. And if we as Black people lost the struggle for Africa and the Caribbean this time, to hell with you and your scandals. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support. Join us back this evening for the people's point of view when we will do it all over again. And we're also calling for President Tinubu head on the plotter this morning. You, the people of Nigeria, have a duty to remove the dead back to the cemetery. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. And I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night. We gotta pass down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down, war cry. Fight down. We say Rastafari. War and cry. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love all people. Put time away, put time away. Listen, yeah. Just as I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize day or night. We gonna pass down Babylon gates. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down, war and cry. Fight down, war and cry. Rastafari, war and cry. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari.